At the beginning of 2022, we posted right here on Grow with Tim for the first time. Tim, why did we even start?
Well, I realized that in the course of a normal day, I was touching like a few dozen people and influencing them, and you were touching a few thousand people, and I said, I want to learn from you.
Now, one of the first things that I told you that we were going to do is post every day. I remember you had some feelings about that thought.
That was crazy. I didn't have enough things to say to post every single day, and plus, how was I going to handle the burden of like thinking of things to say, recording it, producing it? That sounded crazy.
So not only did we start a TikTok and an Instagram channel, but I said, let's go for a podcast as well. And now a year later, we've got a lot of posts up.
We do have a lot of posts. We've done it virtually every day across at least 5 platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and reached north of 1 million people, which is way more than I expected a year ago.
So give me the top few things that you have learned over the course of 2022 around your impact with social media.
So number one, it feels like a land grab right now. There are lots of people consuming content, especially video content, not a lot of people producing. And so there's a real opportunity. And it was easier than I thought to reach a huge number of people and impact them, hopefully influence them for good.
What surprised you about yourself over the course of this journey?
That I actually had the content inside of me that was useful and valuable to people that people wanted to watch. You might remember I committed to a 90-day experiment because, frankly, I thought that was going to be really challenging, but I thought I'd probably be out of things to say after 90 days. And it turns out that all of us, I mean, I don't care how boring you think you are, like, we're reading books, we've got interesting things to talk about, and it was a lot easier than I realized to produce valuable content.
Maybe most important, Tim, was there anybody who cared about what you had to say? Was anyone watching this year?
So we've reached north of 1 million people across all these platforms, which blows my mind. But I think what's been most rewarding is not just seeing numbers, but actually seeing real life feedback. So I'll give you a quick story. I went to an event here a couple of weeks ago. It was hosted by this venture capitalist investor that I really wanted in my network. Like, he's the kind of person I want to be when I grow up. I didn't know that he knew me from Adam. I showed up about 5 minutes late for the event, sat down in the last row, literally the last row, and just kind of snuck in. He was already into his speech. He literally stopped his speech, walked to the back, shook my hand, said, "Mr. Joyner, so good to see you." And then he turns to the room and he says, "I watched this guy online. He's a good guy. He's a sharp guy. You should get to know this guy." And then he went back up and finished his speech. I didn't know that this guy had ever seen my stuff. He's never liked it as far as I know. He's never commented, but apparently he's watching my stuff. And it opened up opportunities in that room with all these people that I wanted to be connected to, but also opportunities to talk to him afterward that I would have never had I not been promoting. And it like blew my mind. So that's been super rewarding to get all kinds of new opportunities that I didn't know existed, opportunities to consult and facilitate strategic planning meetings and all kinds of stuff, just because I'm creating value for people and sort of staying top of mind, aware for them.
So what's next for Grow with Tim, and what happens in 2023 and beyond?
Yeah, so I'm excited to keep building on the foundation we learned. I want to reach a lot more people. You know, back a year ago, on my lifetime goals list was to influence 100,000 people. And you kind of laughed at me. And I'm like, 100,000 people, that's a big goal, man. Like, I'm not often accused of thinking too small, but you're like, yeah, 100,000 people will do that in the first 2 weeks, right? So my thinking has gotten a lot bigger about the kind of impact that I can have, that we can have, hopefully helping people. And I also want to help other people do what we're doing, right? So you and I have started this company called Impact Avalanche to basically lease out the technology, the systems, the automation, the team that we put together to produce content like this for other people that have valuable things to say and that want help getting that message out, expanding their influence. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to meet really interesting people and help them get their message out to a bigger audience.
And with that, the 2022 season comes to an end. Good night.
I'm Tim Joyner, and this is JD.